Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today we're taking a look at Mistwood. Now, Mistwood is a Everdell expansion and I'm incredibly excited to be able to take a look inside. You'll see we've got it shiny and brand new, which means we're going to be doing a first look. We'll open her up, see what comes in the box and have a look at what that means for our gameplay. Now, you may have seen some previous videos that we've done on this in terms of our first look back when it was on Kickstarter many moons ago, and you'll know some of the key variants of this. But for the uninitiated, Everdell, this beautiful game behind me, is honestly one of my favourite games, and it is one that sees you building your own little environment beneath the Evertree. Big exciting selling point on it is the cuteness though, and this is artwork that goes all the way through. I mean, just look at how amazing those little creatures are. Now, that care to detail and cuteness continues through the games. There has been a number of expansions, not least we've had Pearlbrook and Spirecrest and Belfair. More recently we have New Leaf and now we have Mistwood. Now, each of them add something a little bit different each time, and today we'll take a look at what's different about this one. So upon opening her up we have a Tabletop Tycoon, who are the creators of this. They have some different games in there. Be sure to check out our other videos because we have a look at some of those as well. We've also got to let you know that there is Everdell Digital, which is a fun way to play when you can't get others around you, and our instruction booklet. Now, this one is a little bit thicker perhaps than the one that you get in New Leaf, but nicely it's full of pictures and decent sized text, so it's not too intimidating. Now, it has a lot to it here because you have different options that you can add in. This is sort of more of a modular version, and it means that you can also play solo, which is a very cool way of doing it. But let's continue on. We have new tokens that are spiderweb based, which is rather marvellous, and these ones at the bottom too. Now we have another set here which adds in sort of a key of what's going on, and some other bits that you can do. Now if I show you on the back there, also gives you things like a turn summary. So instead of inhabiting huge amounts of space on the board, so for example in some of the other expansions you inhabit new space, you have your core game and then for the sides you have more stuff to do, or to the top. This one doesn't take up as much space because in fact they're your player boards, so you keep those yourself and you just add things into the game otherwise. No physical space on this one. Now, this looks great. I love they've gone with the purple theming and we've got space for a little bit of everything in there. I hope you can see. Now, there are two things that stand out to me immediately that I'm very excited about. One of which is this. Look at this. This is Nightweave, but it is a quite large sized considering everything else, a spider meeple that is your solo automation. So if you're going to be playing this solo, you'll have them as your opponent. Now interestingly, for the first time ever we have a dice involved. So this is a D12. It's quite a nice one. There's nothing against it. It's got the good colours of black and red, which suggests sort of spidery spookiness, but very new. This isn't something that's in previous iterations or previous expansions. But then above that we have cards and meeples. So we'll do the cards first. A very big chunk of cards. This is something that Everdell is sort of almost, I'd say, known for, but it's something that you notice with Everdell is there are a lot of extra cards. It's a good way to build on a game that they've already created, is to give you more options and more opportunities, and that's what they've done here. Now you have a couple of different things. So we have special rules for compatibility between different pairings. This is a later amendment to do with husband and wife, which I'm pleased that they made. Before we leap into some different sets, so you'll see from the colours that we have different sets of things there. So if we take a look first at our normal ones, these are the ones you'll see in the centre of the board and you just sort of add into the pile. So to give you some examples, we have Corin Evertell's Path and we have Corin Evertell's Field. Corin Everdell is the king, by the way. He crops up elsewhere. There you are, Corin Evertell the Leader. And then finally Corin Evertell the King. I say finally, there's plenty more. We've also got Corin Everdell the Warrior before we move into things like our farms and... So if I just show you what that is, These are then to add to the creation, your village creation that you make, and your point score is ultimately at the end. Now I will just point out, because I realise I haven't yet, is that in these, because this is an expansion, you will need a copy of the base game in order to play. Now if you have that, you'll recognise some of these cards, which is why I won't dwell on them too much, because the logic of them is the same. So you'll just see, oh, we'll add those into what we know of Everdell. Now these are our sort of more specific Nightweave cards, of which we have the powers that are entitled to them. So these are drawn, and that's something that affects your game in some way. So we have web working, which sees that every time you play a certain card, Nightweave gains coins equal to the point value. Also to show you the back of those, because look what they look like. But there are plenty. So you'll see Snagged, for example, has a lot of conditions. If this happens and this happens, and that gives you a fun way to play, to have to keep an eye on what's going on. But also, as I say, this is an automated solo version, so this is who you're playing against, so they're not going to go easy on you. Now similarly, with a slightly nicer background, slightly less sinister, these are added in. So you've got things like Copycat. Nightweave gains 2 points for each card in your hand. So these are conditions and things that you need to consider as you play. They've also got things like Prowling Eyes. Each time you play a critter card using an occupied token, you must discard 2. And whilst these are new cards, the logic is the same as the things we've seen before. So A, easy to pick up, but also probably balances the game quite a bit better. But we'll carry on going. So what else? We've got these ones. Oh, we have these ones here, which again feature Nightweave, which is good. And we have the different character cards. So Nightweave the Naysayer. So if you play or draw a meadow card adjacent to Nightweave, you must refill the empty meadow card with one from your hand that matches the colour of the card you took. But we have multiple of those. We have the nasty and the neglectful, the noteworthy, the narcissistic, the nonchalant, the needy, and the nefarious. And each of those have different sort of conditions that you must abide by as you go. And then we have some scorecards too. So they give you different conditions based on what Nightweave's doing. So it might be based on value, or you might replace certain things, or you might change things over. This is what you need to be able to do that. And finally, if I show you these, you have some activity cards. So different things that you can do. You'll start to recognise what the symbols are. If this is the first expansion you've picked up, don't panic. You do adjust to the symbols very quickly, but most of them are repeated motifs from the original. So you will be able to pick it up and sort of zoom off into gameplay straight away. Now, for all that, one of the most exciting things about Everdell is the meeples. So let's take a look at those. Now, as we're adding new colours in, something I like with this is that they backfill, so they'll give you replacement ones for if you were to play in other versions. So there's your rabbit and there's your frog for previous expansions, so you're not sort of left in the lurch going, oh, well, I would play this, but I can't, or I can't play these two together. And then, ta-da! So the cards themselves tell us what new characters we have, and then the meeples are of those characters. So in this case, if I just show you very quickly, we have pigs, stoats, butterflies, and spiders. So check those guys out. Look what options we have there. Now for meeples, that then means that we have the equivalent. So check that out for a little stoat. Isn't he rather cute? We've got our pig standing on hind legs, I guess, because he looks weird if he goes that way. Our pig standing on hind legs. We have our spiders, which are smaller versions of that scary Nightweave one that we've got inside the box. And the beautiful butterfly, which of course are part of a whole bag of meeples that you get there. Now, I've talked about the solo mode quite a lot because that is what I feel makes it stand out quite a lot. There is also, of course, a 2-player mode in Nightweave's lair, so that's really cool to look into, and you don't want those spiders taking over, do you? But that is where we will leave our first look. I want to hear in the comments if you've played this yet. I can't wait to get it to my table. I want to hear what you think about it, and also any recommendations in terms of which ones do you prefer in expansions? Which ones do you think are the best? What's your favourite to play or favourite combination to play in? It's all very exciting. Now, we have other Everdell content on our channel, so be sure to check out other videos and to like and subscribe. But that just leaves us to say thanks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for Tabletop Tycoon for sponsoring this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you again soon.